Hey guys, and welcome to a video guide on the Lost Vikings. This guide won't go into too much depth surrounding the hero or how to play them, but it will hopefully give people a general sense of how to pick them up and get into game with them. I have seen from Reddit comments lately and just questions that people have asked me in game and as friends that people are a little bit scared about picking them up because they view Vikings as extremely complex and perhaps beyond their ability to play. And this guide aims to give those people just a bit of a better confidence boost surrounding their ability to do so. As a result, the video is going to contain a pretty brief overview of the talents, a general sense of their strategy and why the Vikings are powerful, what maps to pick them on, etc. And then a few tiny little tidbits surrounding talent choices and more technical elements of their play, sorry. If you guys are interested in seeing a more specific or detailed and outlined guide surrounding the Vikings, please let me know in the comment section below and I'll happily provide that as soon as I can. But if I bore the fucking shit out of you, just don't say anything and ignore me and I'll go away. I think a really important point to start on is the fact that in HOTS logs we can see that the Vikings maintain the highest win ratio in the game at 55.3%, which is huge, while simultaneously maintaining the lowest pick rate in the game at 3.6%, which is a bit confusing considering their win rate. If you guys are interested in ranking up and you've taken a look at these stats yourself, you've probably wondered why more people aren't playing them. And as far as I can deduce, it purely is out of fear that they'll get raged at and ranked or anything like that. But you know what they say, the really gross social media heiresses and heirs. Fuck the haters, dude. Why should you listen to anything I say at all? I'm Zuko. In game, I know, what an original name. God, I'm good. I'm currently a 3.5k Master League player, rank 1 in Heroes of the Storm, and I'm an ex-Challenger League of Legends player. I've obviously quit League of Legends now to focus on Heroes of the Storm because my schedule's gotten a bit too busy for me to focus on hour-long games all the time. I've been playing MOBAs for the better half of a decade, starting with Dota 1, and I think at the end of the next year it will be a full decade of playing MOBAs. So I like to think that I've gained a little bit of insight as to around the game as a genre works. Then again, I don't claim to know it all. I really fully believe that if people believe in a build that they have or that they want to try, that they should give it a go. No matter what the pros or anything like that or tier lists say, just focus on what you like to play and how you like to play it. But with that in mind, let's begin before we get into talents with the purpose of the Vikings. The Vikings maintain such a high win ratio because they are, bar none, the best hero in the game at soaking experience, which is the equivalent of gold in Heroes of the Storm. It is the most valuable and most consistent resource that a team can have that they can dedicate towards winning a game. If you focus on maintaining an experience soak throughout all games in Heroes of the Storm, I promise you that your win rate will go up noticeably, particularly if that's an issue that you feel is something that you struggle with personally. They also transition to extremely powerful team fighters, which is something that I think a lot of people ignore and that they shouldn't. With that in mind, let's transition into the talent builds. So at level 1, the two choices that I suggest are Viking Bribery and Explosive Attacks, and the choice ultimately comes down to, are you on a map with siege golems? If you are, Viking Bribery is extremely powerful, and if you aren't, if the siege camp is like, I guess you could call them the siege goats on an Infernal Shrine and Battlefield of Eternity, Explosive Attacks is amazing because Baeliog can end up soloing that camp, and beyond that it gives him a bit more passive pushing power by himself. Level 4 is Pain Don't Hurt. Sometimes Mercenary Lord, if you like a playstyle like that and you think you're going to maintain soaking all game, particularly with Eric or Baeliog. Pain Don't Hurt is extremely powerful because Vikings outside of the healing well and going back to base don't have regeneration methods except for Olaf's passive. By taking Pain Don't Hurt, you give Baeliog one as well. This is important because your Vikings will take damage, and if they have to go back to base to heal up and run back to lane, that whole time they're missing out on beautiful experience, which is the whole point of picking the hero. Naturally, we want to try and avoid this, and that's why I end up taking Pain Don't Hurt. Level 7 is Spin to Win. It's overall a fantastic talent. Gives you everything you could need: damage, pushing power, and the damage stacks for anyone who is unsure too. If you land all 3 spin to wins on an individual hero, they will most certainly feel the pain, and you'll see them get chunked for like at least a third of their health bar unless they're a tank. Level 10 is, for me, all the time, bar none, play again. That is a point that I think will be contentious with a lot of people, and I will bring it up later. Don't worry. Ignore it for now. Level 13 is a choice between Jump and Hunger Burning Olaf. Jump is an extremely powerful active ability similar to Spin to Win, but instead of offensive power, it gives you defensive power. You're able to avoid a lot of damage from your counters in like Kael'Thas, Jaina, Gazlo, Nazebo, Falstad, just heroes that can put out a lot of area damage very quickly. If your enemy team is comprised of heroes like that, you're kind of required to take Jump to survive. But if you're in a game where there isn't much AoE on the enemy team, you can pretty safely tank Hunger Burning Olaf, which increases Olaf team's fight pretty substantially, and also is pushing power too. Level 16 is a choice in my eyes between Impatience is a Virtue and Executioner, but 98% of the time it'll be Impatience is a Virtue. You have 3 active abilities in the CDR that it provides you is massive and unbelievably powerful. If you have a team comp that's very dependent on getting the enemy slowed down, for example with Arthas, Muradin, Jaina, then Executioner might be really powerful and worth looking at. That's up to you to choose and decide when this situation is appropriate. And level 20 finally is Fury of the Storm. It's very similar to Spin to Win. It provides everything you can need, except it's notably more powerful than Spin to Win. It provides pushing power, team fighting, everything. It's got the lot. It's the best. Anyway, having talked about that all now, I just want to have a little replay play in the background that shows you guys a general sense of how I play Vikings based on my camera movement, etc. This is at the very beginning of the game. And as you can see, I'm one of those Vikings players that splits up all 3 Vikings. Some people feel that's a bad thing to do. I personally feel that it's the only way to play Vikings unless you're on Tome of the Spider Queen, which kind of demands that you keep all 3 Vikings together. The reason this is because it allows your other 4 teammates to go around the map doing whatever they please, be it taking mercs, ganking enemy characters, focusing on the objective, and that's a really powerful thing. 4 is a much more powerful number than 3, obviously, when it comes to heroes, and sometimes it can very much make the difference between getting a kill and not getting a kill, or maintaining a hold over an objective, or not maintaining a hold over an objective. And the only thing that mostly stops people from keeping Vikings split up as 3 is their concerns of not being able to micro them. And I suggest to yourself that if that is the case, you just keep pushing yourself to get better and not worry about that type of stuff. Obviously, because you'll be focusing on maintaining a massive experience lead, you'll see yourself getting to level 10 quite quickly. And this is where a big point of contention for me and other Vikings players and other people comes up. I pick play again a lot of the time, and by a lot I mean all the time. Why don't I pick Longboat Raid? It's because I feel that Longboat Raid is chosen to give Vikings an ability to team fight. I feel that Vikings, as the 3 of them together, are already extremely powerful team fighters as is. Beyond that, I feel that Longboat Raid is awful for Vikings because it means one of 2 situations has arisen. One, you're an individual Viking controlling the Longboat Raid, which is cool and really powerful for an individual Viking to do. However, it means you're shit and all your other Vikings are dead, which is bad. And the other option is that 2, you have to stop your Vikings soaking experience. That's kind of the point of them. I feel that Longboat Raid gives you options to teamfight, because instead of having all 3 Vikings rotate to an objective like a temple on Sky Temple, you can have Eric rotate down and, if necessary, use him to summon all the other Vikings and begin team fighting, as opposed to missing all that experience while you rotate to the objective. Beyond that, once you hit level 20, the Vikings become unbelievable team fighters, and the simple ability to be able to resurrect all of them if one remains alive, or even circle that damage, take away cooldowns from your enemy team, is a massive deal. Also, if you pick Longboat Raid, you are kind of required to pick Ragnarok and roll at level 20. I feel that Fury of the Storm is so powerful that once you hit level 20 and pick up Fury of the Storm, you essentially have the equivalent power of having Ragnarok and roll with all the benefits of play again. that is how powerful I think it is. On the topic of team fighting, a lot of people are a bit confused over what they do once they reach level 20. They wonder, do they keep soaking, do they focus on mercs or team fighting, and the answer is you don't have to worry as much about soaking, but focus more on pushing. It is really beneficial from that point on in the game to keep your Vikings together and crush as many merc camps out as you can. You have to remember that you team fight like a monster now, and with effective usage of jump you can survive in team fights pretty easily as well. So from that point on, if need be, you split up your Vikings to push, not soak waves, push them, put pressure on the enemy team, or get objectives like tributes, etc., seeds, shrines on Dragonshire. But you are now able to group with your team without sacrificing the inherent power of your hero. That pretty much concludes a very basic guide as to what the Lost Vikings are capable of. Again, if you are interested in seeing me do more content or to answer any specific questions that you may have surrounding the hero, please leave a message. I am more than happy to make more videos in it about this particular topic or any other hero for that matter, and hopefully to become a pretty consistent source of knowledge for a lot of people. But yeah, no matter what, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care and hopefully see you guys soon. Zuko out.